Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot testing. And I've got another pretty interesting little combo out here that we haven't tried yet, so I'm really looking forward to see what it can actually do for us. So for the shell that I've got out here today, I don't have the box for it, but this is what we're going to be shooting. These are some Remington 3-inch Magnum 1 buck shells. I think these are 24 pellets. I could be wrong, but I think they're 24 pellets in these shells. I wish I had the box to know for sure and to know what kind of velocity that they were claiming and stuff like that, but I don't, unfortunately. But I do have the chronograph and stuff out here today, so we'll be able to see a good bit of our information anyway. And for the setup we're going to be running today, I've got my usual Remington 1187 Premier here with the stock full choke in the gun. It is a 688 constriction for those of you curious. And we have obviously tested that setup quite a bit, so we know that that combination is definitely a pretty decent performer. So I'm really looking forward to see what a shell of 1 buck can do through that setup. So as for the testing, like usual, I have a target set up down at 40 yards. I also have my chronograph, so the shot will be across there. And I also have our templates, both circles and animal cutouts. So we'll shoot the shot, we'll look at what chrono number we have, and then we'll go down range and see how it did and lay some templates over it and see what this combination would actually be able to give us. So with that being said, let's get you guys set up with a view of the chronograph, since you really won't be able to see anything actually hitting the paper yet, and shoot our shot, and then we'll evaluate and see how these things did. Alright, so as you saw there, we got 1,053 through the chronograph, so chances are they were probably calling for 1,100 or so, but I really don't know to be certain here. So I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary to see here, so let's go down range to 40 yards and actually look and see how they patterned. Alright, so now we're down range here at 40 yards, and for reference, the white dot was my point of aim, and the paper is 36 inches wide by roughly 36 inches tall, and on here we have 23 pellet hits. So I believe that guess of 24 pellets is probably accurate, and we just have 1 pellet that did not hit the paper. But overall here, that is a lot of buckshot flying down range. But if we look here, we almost have a bare spot or a hole right in the center of this pattern right here above that white dot. I would have liked to have seen a few of those pellets in that hole to kind of fill that void, but that's definitely pretty interesting there. I wouldn't say it's bad by any means, especially for that much buckshot going down range, but I would prefer not to have that hole kind of right where my point of aim was, or very close to it anyway. But let's start by throwing a 10-inch circle up real quick and taking a look at that, and then we'll move on to our other templates. Alright, so here's that 10-inch circle, and as we can see, we have 3 pellets within that circle. But again, you can kind of see how the upper part of that circle doesn't have a pellet or 2 in it. Ideally, I would like to have at least a little bit more even spread of those 3 pellets within that circle. But still, we're not looking too terrible so far. But let's throw our 30-inch circle up and see what kind of the overall pattern looks like. Alright, so here's our 30-inch circle, and if we roughly line that up with our point of aim, that gave us 18 out of our 23 pellets that hit the paper that actually would be within this big circle. But again, you can kind of see where there's a couple voids, one that's right above that white dot and another one that's down a little bit lower. So it's still, there's a lot of pellets in there, but I would like it to be a little bit more even, I guess. I could just be nitpicking because, I mean, that is still a lot of buckshot flying down range. But let's switch over to more of a hunting style scenario here and throw a deer template up and see what it would have done for us on a deer. Alright, so now we're looking at our deer template here, and for reference, we have a front leg down there, and his neck just starts off to the right hand side over there. And if we put our point of aim right about where we would want it to be, we had 11 total pellets hit this deer. We had 2 that definitely got into the heart and lungs area there, and another 1 or 2 over here that probably would have got some kind of a major artery, and that's not even to mention all the rest we have scattered back here through the liver and stuff like that. So this deer would absolutely be a dead deer for you. But still, we have that 1 hole right above there, right in the lungs area, that I would have liked to have seen a pellet or 2 in, if nothing else. But either way, we're looking pretty decent here. definitely a dead deer. But what about a hog? For those of you that deal with those in the South and might want to use 1 buck shells like this or something like that, how does this pattern look with hog hunting? Alright, so now we're looking at our hog template here, and same orientation as the deer with his legs at the bottom and his neck just starting to the right. If we line our point of aim up there with roughly where we would want it to be, we have 12 pellets that actually hit this hog. And it's a very similar story to what we saw with the deer. We had 1 or 2 right there in the heart lungs area for sure, and we had several more kind of more forward towards the main neck artery type of area there, and a number of these would have gotten into something major as well. So we absolutely have a dead hog here, there's no doubt about that. So we're definitely looking pretty decent so far, I'd say. We've got 2 dead animals and a decent overall pattern, so definitely not looking too bad here for this Remington 1 buck shell. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about the performance we saw today? It had those 1 or 2 little voids in it that I would have liked to have seen a pellet or 2 in, but I can't really complain too much. We would have had a dead deer and a dead hog, and with 24 pellets of buckshot flying down range like that, you're bound to hit something. So overall, not too bad here, I wouldn't say. That would absolutely be a usable pattern for you right there for hunting purposes or anything else. But overall, what did you guys think about it? And what do you think about 1 buck and how do you use it? And have you hunted with it, taken deer with it, and so on? Let me know down in the comments. But with that being said, I've got a bunch more testing coming y'all's way. So stay tuned, especially now that we're getting into deer season. There's going to be several hunting videos coming out, so stay tuned for those. So I'm going to jump back to testing, and I'll see y'all in the next one.